Hi friends, and welcome back to Lemon Tree Corner. If you're new here, hi, my name is Heather and I make handmade bags. If you're not new here, thanks for coming back and I hope you enjoy the video this week. This week in the studio we are making the Finch Hobo bag. So this is another wonderful pattern from Bagstock Designs. I forgot to mention a couple weeks ago that the Sunshine Crossbody we made is a free pattern, so I linked that in the show description along with the Ochre Roots step-by-step tutorial, so super easy. This one's a little more complicated. We got some curves going on and this front part kind of puffs out. So it's a really nice hobo bag. Finished size is 15 by 8.5, so 15 wide, 8.5 tall, and 4.5 deep. The fabrics we are using this week, I have two planned to make, but we're going to see how far we get. So this is the one we're going to start with. It's this beautiful tulip pink fabric, and I'm pairing that with a Moda Grunge. This one is eggplant. You know me, I love the Moda Grunge. It's got all that nice grungy bits in it. So those are our two colors for that. Our second bag, if we get to it, is going to be made out of this lovely fabric. Just a nice summery, springy bag. And this is the lining. This is not a grunge. You'll see it's got like a little star. I don't know if you can see the little star pattern in there, but really pretty fabric. So these are both art gallery fabrics, and this one is called a floral. So it's got like this really nice florally design hidden in there, so really pretty. And since it's Labor Day weekend, I've got an extra day off, so we are going to try and make the two bags and the piggies. We'll see how far we get. So if that sounds like a good time to you, go ahead and grab yourself a water or an iced tea, sit back, relax, and let's make some bags.
Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise.
Okay, so I think the most confusing part about this is just the mirrored part. But like you just saw me do, it was already technically mirrored because I had the pieces like this. So you just have to like think through it, make sure you're cutting it correctly before you do it. She has a slip pocket in this, but I like doing a zip pocket because it's such a big bag and things just get lost, and I don't find a slip pocket to be that handy. So I like to do a zip pocket. The reason she doesn't do a zip pocket in here is it's a little confusing. So I understand why she does a slip pocket instead. And we're also going to do the handles out of this. So I like to do the contrasting handles like she has here. We also have a zipper end. I do have hardware for that, so we're going to have to go find that. And let's see, what else do I need here? And we are doing fusible fleece. So we're basically sewing this handle in so there's no real hardware. Now this bag comes together pretty fast and easy. The hardest part, I think, is just keeping your pattern pieces straightened out. So what we're going to do is there's an edge that's a little bit less curved, and that's the inner edge. So you just want to make sure that you're lining up the two inner edges that are less curved. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sew those together at 3/8 of an inch. We're going to press it open, and then we're going to sew the sides down. So it's pretty easy. That's the whole outside of the bag. We are going to add the zipper pocket in the interior, and there is an add-on tutorial here. I don't know that I can link to that. I don't know if that's part of the pattern or not, but we're going to do that. It's probably where I got the measurements from. And then we're just going to do our strap like normal, but we're gonna sew it in. So I think the hardest part is just making sure you've got the pieces lined up correctly. Putting in the zipper pocket on the curve on the inside is a little bit difficult. And then this part, when we sew this in, when we turn it out, we're really gonna have to poke out those edges. But that's about it. And then we've got to sew the tops on the lining pieces, but pretty fast and easy. And this is where it's handy to have a tailor's ham. If you don't have one and you make bags, I highly suggest you pick one up, because we've got these curves that we've got to iron down. So it's going to be very hard to do unless you have a curvy thing. So what I like to do, I usually wind up holding this to me as I'm doing it, is we're going to spread this out, and then we're going to go in with our iron and we're going to flatten this seam down so that we can top stitch over it. If you have one of those armhole pressers, you can use that as well, but it's just not going to get you like the full-on curve that this is going to get you. So just want to get it really nice and tight, spread it open, and hold it down. Okay, so here comes the other fiddly part, is that now we have to do our top stitching. So it's on a curve, which makes it hard. So if you pop it right side up again, you just want to make sure that your tail is really under there, and then we are going to sew it down. And you just want to be even and make sure it's still under there and it's tight and you're on a curve, and it's all very confusing. So just like that. And then the other side, you can just see that it's kind of fiddly to do it this way. So you just want to make sure that's as flat as possible. So now when we puff it back out the right way around, you'll see we've got our fabric here. It's got our nice little puff, and it's top stitched, and it kind of helps hold everything together. So we're going to do the same thing with our other puffy pieces, and then we're ready for the complicated zipper. My husband got the jellyfish hung up, which makes me very, very happy, and they're right above my air filter, so they get blown around a little bit, which is fun. And they're right above my sewing machine. I think I'm going to take the extra one into work and hang it up there. And then we have the ones in the bedroom. These two we're gonna hang off the edge like that. Better than that. But the other one is up here above my side of the bed. And yeah, it's just very sweet. I like having it there. I was originally gonna have them in the four corners of the room, but they don't really work in the four corners of the room, so this is good. And then we have our birds of paradise that are left over from our wedding. We had these hanging at the altar for our wedding. So we just kind of have a very tiki decorated bedroom with the painting from our sip and paint. And then the Hawaiian quilt I made, which I'm so proud of. I'd like to make another quilt, like a Christmassy quilt, but that's gonna be a while. Definitely. This was a huge endeavor, and getting it actually quilted by a long arm quilter. So it'll be a while before I tackle another quilt. So update on the fish tank. I'm pretty sure that the new fish were diseased. So I don't know what we got going on in the tank here, a parasite or whatever. So we're gonna have to sterilize the entire tank. It's gonna take a long time to filter through. And I was watching videos and researching and found a video where the guy used aquarium salt. So basically, we're going to use the salt to kill everything off, and it's going to be a lot easier because otherwise I got to dismantle the tank, we got to bleach everything, clean everything, and I still got to set the whole tank back up again. So this way we can leave the tank where it is. I don't have to dismantle much. I just need to move stuff around. And then we pour a ton of salt in, let the salt filter through for a couple of weeks, change the water a couple of times, and then we have to start the process of rebuilding the beneficial bacteria so that the tank is healthy and ready for fish. So we're probably not going to get any more fish until after our vacation, just because I don't want to stick my niece with like this huge thing and buy new fish and then go on vacation for a week. So we are going to get this process started, start the healing process, and it'll be a little over a month before we're ready for fish. So hopefully in a month we're ready for fish. Okay, so we are coming along on our scarf here. I just joined the second ball of yarn, so we are halfway done with our scarf. Very cool. I tried mixing in the other yarn, the alpaca, the darker blue, and it did not look good at all. So we are at this stage with this yarn, and it's funny, once I did the dark blue, I really appreciated this yarn again. So we are at that stage. I really had trouble with dropping a stitch, and I have to keep checking that I'm not dropping stitches and that it's still even. So since this is going so fast and we've already done half of it, I am going to go ahead and wind up the Wonderland walk yarn and get that started, because that's what we're going to take on our trip in a month. So I kind of want to get that project going after this. So I want to have it ready to go, finish this off, hopefully in the next week or so. And then we can work on the other one. We can get started on that, really get to know the pattern, feel comfortable, get it all set up so that I can take it with me. With these pieces, you want to make sure you have the correct edge that you are sewing together. So this kind of angled one is the outside edge. So we're going to sew these two together. Okay, she has a free add-on that you can print out for how to add the zipper pocket. She's doing a facing and I don't really want to do that, so I'm just going to do our normal pocket. I already had this written out for myself as a 12 by 6 pocket. She has a different size pocket. I just think it's useful to have a pocket because, you know, when you're using a purse, it's just usually better to have a pocket, especially this big of a purse. So we are going to go down an inch. We did our usual box. I'm going to center this. Center there. So the only difficult part about this whole thing is really this curve. You're dealing with a curve now. You really can't install it before the curve, so you just kind of got to deal with the fact that it's gonna be on a curve. It just makes it a little more difficult. Now for my least favorite part, which is veering zippers. So we've got to tack these down, and I can never manage to get them tacked correctly. It's a matter of getting them held in place while I sew them and having the stitches not visible in the end. So I don't have a lot of good luck with that, but we will give it a shot. I think if I sew them both from this direction, that's going to be easier, and the stiletto really helps. This is a Bianni stiletto. And the other hard part is getting these both evenly in the same place. So that's the other challenge. Yay, so we're almost done with our scarf. It's going super fast. I've only got this much left, so we're about 3/4 done. So that means I get to ball up my next yarn because I want to have this ready to go for our trip. I want to have started the pattern, know the pattern pretty well, and feel comfortable before I get on the plane. So here we have our Wonderland Walk yarn. This is the yarn that Allie from This Little Wonderful Life, she designed and dyed. So this is Lay Family yarn, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. I've got 4 of these, and we are making a winter garden scarf. This is fiber flux. It looks super pretty. It's just gonna be like a really oversized scarf. So I think this is going to be great to wear on our trip if I'm able to finish it on the trip. Depending on what the weather's like, I might be working on this a lot more than I think. Might be sitting by the fire and crocheting all the time. So that's kind of the goal. I might bring another project. Maybe we'll bring the snowflakes, or maybe I'll bring my blanket, and that way I'll have a blanket. I'll have a nice warm blanket over me as I'm working on it. I don't know. So we're gonna get this balled up and get that ready to start. And yeah, that's about it. Enjoyed my massage this afternoon. And yeah, I think I want to wait till tomorrow to do the rest of the bag just because I'm nice and relaxed. Okay, so I've decided to use my bucket bag. So this is my Can Do Crafts, I think it's Can Do Patterns, drawstring bucket bag. So it's got a drawstring panel, a drawstring channel here. I don't make these because they're pretty complicated to make, but they're kind of cool because it's got the drawstring and a handle, and then these outer bits are pockets you can fill. And I made an autumn themed one for myself with this really pretty, you can't really see it, but it's like a birch. Can you see that? Oh, let's get in there. It's like a birch tree kind of thing going on in there. So I'm going to use this for my project. Because it's 4 skeins big, I think it's going to take some room. So we're going to use this for our project. And then we'll have a nice autumn themed bag to work out of for the autumn. Okay, we are on to the fun part. I did have some of the zipper ends. So you can take a look at these. This is the one thing I don't think we've done on this channel for a very, very long time. So we've basically got these ends, and I'm just gonna take one for now. We'll need one for the other bag as well. I actually had rainbow, which is wonderful. And they come with a little screw. So we've got the clean side and the one with the screw. We're also gonna need some glue. I'm gonna use my 3-in-1 glue here. And we've got the screws. I'm going to cut this, but I'm going to have to put the rest of the screws in the bag so that I don't lose them, as I just should it. So what we're going to do is we're going to scrunch the end of the zipper into this thing. We're going to glue it in place, and we're going to screw it. Glue it and screw it. So the trick here is to like fold this in on itself until you get like a really fine point. Shove it in there as far as you can. And sometimes it's handy if you actually clip some of that excess off so you don't have a bunch of stuff in there. And then fold, fold. Get like a really nice tight fold there and stick it in. There we go. And you get it all the way in, all the way in. So now I'm going to take it back out again. I'm going to stick some glue on here. Oh, we need our little screwdriver set before we do this. So this is the little screwdriver set I bought, which is very cute. And I need to find a teeny screwdriver. What's gonna fit this? The teeniest one I have. It's gotta be a Phillips. Takes forever for my glue to go to the bottom. Just want enough glue to hold it in there. We don't want the glue to come spilling out. And then we're just going to turn it over, stick the little screw in, and gently screw it in there. So I'm going to get it in as flush as we can. There we go. I'm gonna let this sit for a minute and just firm up, but look how cute that is. You could also just do a zipper tab on the end here, but it's just kind of a nice touch. Yay! So I think that's the only part we have not done before. And then we've got a couple other tricky parts to this pattern, but we are not, I'm not gonna have time to show that to you. So basically, we're just going to find our halfway point here, clip that, and put it in. I think I'm going to put my zipper pocket on this side. And then I don't normally like recessed zippers like this because they're a pain to try and sew in cleanly. But when you have a separate panel that you're sewing it into, it's actually a lot easier. So we're just going to base this down first. And then we're going to sew one of our top panels on top of that, lining that up with the center, and get that sewn down all the way to the end there. And then we have the tricky top bit, but I don't think I'm going to have time to show that to you. finished bag. It is super big and roomy inside. It's got that nice domey shape. Very cool. Did I say in the beginning that this was easy? I forgot about the whole up and over part of this equation. And I'm glad I did make the pocket that big. I'm sure I made it that big for a reason. Mainly because you're turning the whole thing out through this pocket. So that was way easier. And then we've got our zipper, our nice zipper end. And zip the whole thing up, so that's nice. Yay! Okay, so I got one more to do, and also going to my sister's house for a little picnic. So looking forward to that. So I don't know, I might be making the next bag on the evenings, but that's okay because next week is catch-up week. So we're going to be able to get everything finished. I'm going to feel better about everything, and we'll go from there. Well, we have come to an end of another video. Thank you for joining me in the studio this week. We managed to get 2 bags done. Yay! So here's the first one in the tulip pink fabric with the eggplant lining. And then here's the one with the beautiful spring summer flowers and that really nice teal aqua lining. So very happy with those. I managed to run out of SF101 this week, and I placed an order for more, but it was back ordered. Not back ordered, but just delayed. And I went to my local Joann's and bought, they didn't even have like the bolt of SF101 that I could buy a few yards of. So I found a little package. It was really expensive. So I tried to use as many scraps as I could to piece things together, but just didn't have enough for the second bag. So I was like, well, the universe only wants me to make 1 bag this week. And then it came in on Sunday, so we were able to finish the other bag. So that's nice. And I'm excited to catch up next week. So next week we are going to finish the piggies. We're going to do some charity therapy bears for my craft guild. And we've got 2 other bags to finish. So we're going to clear the decks so that I don't have that weighing on my mind. And that's about it. So trying to stay cool. We've got a heat wave coming this week. So I'm just gonna stay cool, eat some ice cream, and I hope you do the same. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Thanks for coming and spending time with me. And I hope to see you back here next week. Love you, friends. Bye.
So hard to see